Magpie pays the mall a visit. Just a normal day-to-day at work, at a sports equipment store in a mall. All of a sudden, a magpie flies into the store, followed by a lady working at a flower shop on the same floor as mine. This would turn into a wild magpie chase. The building's groundskeeper was there with a net. Unfortunately, magpies are extremely clever birds. Watching the chase around our store, and in the hall outside was entertaining. It visited every single store on the floor, surprising customers and employees alike. Me and a colleague grabbed 2 of our fishing nets for sale to try and catch it. It was cornered in the flower shop, however, its insane reflexes let it dodge our nets. Eventually, after chasing it through 3 massive stores, we had to call it. Wildlife protection was called, through a lot of hoops by the way. Someone told us to call someone else 4 times. One of the stores managed to corner it in their break room, and came to borrow our nets. Somehow the bird escaped though, and is still flying around everywhere. Wildlife protection arrives, and they also try to use the same nets to no avail. The clever bird will probably have to be shot to be caught.
There is a high chance that I encountered a minor trying to buy alcohol. I work in a Midwestern United States grocery store, and my job is to shop for people who order groceries online. Occasionally, I give out groceries when needed. This happened 3 days ago. I was coordinating for a couple of hours. Coordinating means I am in charge of making sure the pickers have their breaks, and the coordinator gives out groceries to the customers. There was a customer who had alcohol in her order. She ordered a 4-pack of Guinness beer, as well as other items. When she arrived to pick it up, I noticed that she seemed very young, maybe in her late teens or early 20s. I asked for her ID, and she rummaged around for a couple seconds, and then said that she didn't have her ID with her. I informed her that I could not legally give her the alcohol without proper identification. I asked if she could ask someone else who is of legal age to come pick it up, and she said that there was nobody she could call. She asked me what alcohol was in the order, and I said it was a pack of Guinness. She said she thought it was non-alcoholic. I'm not familiar with Guinness to know if there is a non-alcoholic kind of it, as I don't drink those kinds of alcohol. I'm more of a cocktail whiskey person. I told her that I would take the alcohol out of her order and just give her the groceries. I also made sure she got a refund on the alcohol. I was telling this story to my nail tech today, and she said that she thought the customer was trying to hustle alcohol from me and that she was not of legal age. She could be right, but I will never know for sure. So, there's a chance that I refused a sale to a minor.
The time my friend came into the store I work at dressed as a plague doctor. I have a friend who likes to occasionally cosplay historical figures, Templar Knights, plague doctors, etc. in public. One day, while I was working, he decided to show up at the grocery store I work at dressed as a plague doctor while he grabbed some groceries. Because there's a huge window at the front where the tills are, I had seen him outside walking in and was already thinking to myself, I wonder how this is going to go. He came inside and started walking around to find the things he was looking to buy. I tried to focus on the grocery orders that I was reading through, but I kept glancing around every now and then between each one to see where he was. He also knew that I was working that day, so he came to my till when he was done. I talked to him for a bit while I scanned his groceries through, joking with him a bit that I didn't think that plague doctors ate whatever he was buying. Some other customers who were lining up behind him or passing by looked at him, and a couple of them also made some friendly remarks to him. After he left, I had a whole bunch of people asking me about him. I wasn't embarrassed by it, and I was happy to explain that he is my friend. Finally, when the store quieted down a bit, I had a coworker of mine come over and say, "So, did you ask him all the burning questions?" I replied, "I didn't have to, he's my friend, and this isn't the first time he's done that." Then, my coworker told me that apparently my friend had scared the crap out of a customer while he was shopping. The customer was down an aisle, grabbing some stuff off the shelf. When they turned around and saw my friend standing there, they had no idea what to do. My coworker and I laughed about that for a little bit, and I explained to her about the other times where he's cosplayed like that out in public. There was absolutely no judgment from anyone. Overall, it made my day and a lot of other people's days, aside from that person who got scared. I'm certain that it will probably happen again in the future.
Customer finds a full-priced dress on the sale rack and demands we give her a 50% off discount. I own a high-end boutique. A full-priced dress was placed on the clearance rack by accident. Our customers try stuff on and then put it back in the wrong place all the time. A customer buys it, goes home, and realizes she paid full price. She came back to my store and argues that she should receive a 50% refund because she found the dress on the 50% off rack. I told her that it was placed there by accident and that it's actually full price. I show her the tag that has no sale stickers. I refunded her the full amount and we kept the dress. She goes home and texts me paragraphs back and forth for hours, claiming, "I am purposefully stealing from customers and tricking them into buying full-price items." I can't tell if she's crazy or if she really just wanted me to give her 50% off a full-price item, or both.
No, that isn't my card. We recently had a lady lose her debit card in our store. One of our employees found it on the floor just a few minutes after she left. I decided to post on our local Facebook page that this lady left her card here, and if anyone knows her to please let her know. We've done this multiple times before with no issues. About an hour after I posted this, the store phone rings and I answered. The lady says, "I saw your Facebook post. You need to take it down. That is not my card." My employer saw the post and they're freaking out. I say, "I'm sorry, Mom. I was just trying to be helpful." She cut me off and said, "If you want to be helpful, you need to take the card to a local bank branch, not post about it online. You've caused me a lot of trouble. Take that post down now." I responded, "Yep, have a good one," and hung up. I knew from the way she was acting that it was her card, and most likely a business card for her job, as according to Facebook she's an office manager. I texted my manager and asked what he would like me to do. He said that since it seems like she doesn't want to retrieve the card, I can go ahead and destroy it. The next day, she comes in and politely says that she lost her card here and was here to pick it up. Another manager was on duty at the time and told her that we disposed of it. She got upset and said she told me she'd be in to pick it up today. The manager said that's not the story we heard. The lady went wide-eyed and pale and immediately left the store without another word.
Customer got my joke. I work for a local grocery chain that starts with an S, so bring the huge nerd that I am, I pull out the Evil Dead references. Thank you for shopping at S-Mart. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. A customer was checking out at self-checkout and when he finished up his transaction, I did my usual S-Mart quote. The customer actually knew what I was talking about. He turned out to be an Evil Dead fan. He had pictures of his collection of props on his phone that he had to show me. I couldn't believe it. Almost none of my customers know what I'm talking about when I make random references. One gentleman was wearing a Nakatomi Plaza t-shirt and it took him a few seconds to catch up to my quip. So, are you going to their Christmas party? Then, when his brain caught up, he laughed.
I tried to steal a speaker. This is from a few years back, but I just remember thinking about some stories when I worked in fun retail. It happened one morning when I had been stuck opening out small store by myself due to the second opener running late or something. Unfortunately, it also was a busy morning when I had 6+ people at the door the moment I opened it. Luckily, it wasn't my first rodeo opening by myself, so I set to work getting everyone situated before running the gauntlet of customer service. Luckily, most of them were just there to pay a bill, and I got to the third person in line. Now this guy was definitely on something. You could tell by the way he carried himself, his mannerisms, and the way he talked. I forgot exactly what he came in for, but he tried to get into an account he didn't have access to. He then turned to leave and I started to help the next customer. However, out of the corner of my eye, I watched this man look up and down our accessory wall. For context, the store itself was a giant box with almost the entire left wall behind, where we hung accessories at the time. The very end nearest the door was where we held our speakers due to how corporate wanted us to display our products. Now they were locked on the pegs, so you couldn't just pull the items off. Out of the corner of my eye, I watched this man hold up his jacket to cover him, ripping a JBL speaker box off the peg, breaking the tag he used to hang it by before he set it on a small side table we had near the front. He then began to hold up his jacket again to try and cover it, putting his hands in his jacket pocket and lifting them up and over the speaker to look inconspicuous. I told the customer I was helping to give me a moment before I walked over to the guy and put on my best customer service smile. Hey there, sir, were you looking to get that speaker? I asked. The guy then jumped because I don't think he realized I had seen him take it. Oh, and no, I was just looking at it, was his response as he lowered his jacket and back away from the item. Oh, alright, since this seems damaged, I'm just gonna go put it up front then, if you change your mind, I said, referring to the damage he had caused since now we couldn't hang it back on the wall. He looked a bit defeated and then walked out. I later told my awesome supervisor, who was on the close shift and watched the cameras. You could clearly see him look back at me while I was helping the customer to see if I wasn't paying attention to try and rip the speaker off the wall. We had a good laugh at it.